Question 14. A tree casts a 25-foot shadow on a sunny day as shown in the diagram below. So here's the diagram on the board. Here's the tree, here's the sun over here, and the tree is casting a shadow. This is the shadow. This whole area over here is the shadow. It's casting a shadow, and the degree, the angle that the shadow is from the ground is 32 degrees. And an angle of elevation from the tip of the shadow to the top of the tree is 32 degrees. 32. What is the height of the tree to the nearest tenth of a foot? Well, what do we know over here? We know how far it is from the tip of the shadow to the tip of the tree. We know that that's 25 feet. We want the height of the tree. Well, whenever you have a tree and the ground, you assume you're dealing with the right angle. And since you're dealing with the right angle, you have a right triangle. When you have a right triangle, you have a hypotenuse and you have two legs. Now, angle 32, we'll call this angle A. What's opposite angle A? Side A. The unknown that we want to know is the height of the tree. That's side A. We'll call that X. What else do we know? We know what's adjacent to the angle. The hypotenuse is not considered adjacent. It's considered the hypotenuse, even though it's adjacent. The hypotenuse is not the adjacent angle. It's not the adjacent side. The adjacent side is what's touching the angle, but it's not the hypotenuse. So what's touching angle A? Side B. We'll call this side B. This is angle B, and this is side B. So what's touching angle A is the shadow, the length of the shadow from the tree to the ground, which is 25 feet. So we know the adjacent side, and we want to find the opposite side. So what deals with opposite and adjacent side? Tangent. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. So for opposite, we'll put in X, because that's the height of the tree. What's opposite angle A is the height of the tree. That's unknown. And the adjacent side is 25 feet. It's 25 feet from the tip of the tree to the end of the shadow. So it's opposite over adjacent is equal to the tangent of 32 degrees, because this 32 degree angle represents the shadow going up to the tree. So tangent of 32, you hit 32, and then you hit the tangent button, you get 0.624869351 is equal to opposite over adjacent, that's x over 25. To find what is the height of the tree, what is x, you have to multiply both sides by 25 over 1. Because x divided by 25 you don't want. You want x by itself. So x divided by 25 times 25 just becomes x. And you have to do the same thing to the other side to keep the sides equal. So you also multiply this side by 25 over 1. And when you multiply this by 25, you get equals 15.6217338 equals x. Now, the question is, what is the height of the tree to the nearest tenth of a foot? Well, the tenth place is a 6, beyond it is a 2. So the 6 does not go up, it stays as a 6. And rounded off, everything after the 6 is just a 0. So therefore, x rounded off to the nearest tenth is equal to 15.6, which is answer 2. Question 15. What is the slope of a line that passes through points -5, 4 and 15, -4? Well, to find a slope, the slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, or y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. So, let's take 15, the x being 15 and the y being -4 as x1, y1. and the negative 5, 4 as x2, y2. So x1 is 15, y1 is negative 4, x2 is negative 5, and y2 is 4. Let's plug it into the first equation. M equals y2 minus y1. y2 is 4 minus y1 is negative 4, so it's 4 minus a negative 4, which is 8, over x2 is negative 5 minus x1 is 15, so negative 5 minus 15 is negative 20. So this is 8 over negative 20, which is equal to negative 2 over 5. Let's switch it around. Instead of doing y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, let's do y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. What's y1? Negative 4. What's y2? 4. So it's negative 4 minus 4 is negative 8 over x1 is 15 minus x2. x2 is negative 5, so it's 15 minus a negative 5, meaning 15 plus 5 is 20. And negative 4 minus 4 is 8, so it's negative 8 over 20, which is equal to negative 2 over 5. And if you look at your answer choices, negative 2 over 5 is answer 1. Question 16. The equation y equals negative x squared minus 2x plus 8 is graphed on the set of axes below. Based on the graph, what are the roots of the equation negative x squared minus 2x plus 8 equals 0? Now, you should not start trying to figure this whole thing out. They're just asking what are the roots. There's a lot of extra information. You don't need to know this whole equation. All you need to know is that you see the graph on the page, and you know that the roots is where the graph hits the x-axis, where y is 0. So one root, if you count, you see x is negative 4. Another root you see where it hits the x-axis, x is 2. So the two roots are x is 2 and x is negative 4, or x is negative 4 and 2. And that is answer 2. Question 17. What is the sum of 3 over 2x and 4 over 3x expressed in simplest form, meaning brought down to simplest terms? Well, sum means you add them together. So before you add them together, you need a common denominator. What's the common denominator over here? Well, the common denominator over here is 6, because 3 and 2 have in common that they're multiples of 6. They're factors of 6. So, to give it both a 6, what we're going to do is, we can multiply the left side by 3 over 3, because you're allowed to multiply or divide anything by 1, and anything over itself is equal to 1. And the right side, we can multiply by 2 over 2. This is where we're going to give you an equation that we're going to give you an example that you can answer. So, 3 times 2x is 6x, over 3 times 3 is 9, plus 4 times 2 is 8, and 2 times 3x is 6x. Now you have a common denominator, you can solve it. What they really probably want you to do, or they thought you might do, and therefore they want you to bring it down to simplest form, is multiply this side by 3x and this side by 2x. But it's not necessary. Now, they're both divided by 6x. You have 9 parts of 6x plus 8 parts of 6x gives you 17 parts of 6x. And 17 does not go evenly into 6. And 17 also doesn't go into x because we don't know what x is. However, one of the answers is 17 over 6x. And that's the correct answer. That is answer 2.